All right, let's dive into the absolute roller coaster that is Upstart. This is a stock that has everyone talking, and for good reason. We've just seen this massive surge in trading, but with a huge earnings report just around the corner, we have to ask, is this a rocket ship getting ready for takeoff, or is it a red flag, a final warning before things turn south? To really get a handle on the frenzy around Upstart, you only need to see one number, $750 million. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a massive figure, but what it actually represents is even more unbelievable. And get this, that's not the company's valuation or anything like that, no. That's how much Upstart stock changed hands in a single day. That's an 84% spike in trading activity from just the day before. You know, this isn't just a little bit of investor interest. This is a full-on, high-speed trading frenzy.
But here's the real kicker. All of this chaos, all this excitement, is happening just days before the company is set to release its Q2 earnings report. It really makes you wonder, with so much money flying around so fast, what critical piece of the story are all these traders missing?
Okay, so first, let's unpack the incredible optimism that's pouring gasoline on this fire. This is the bull case. This is the argument for why Upstart might just be on the brink of something truly game-changing. And this quote pretty much says it all. This is a wild prediction from Eric Jackson over at EMJ Capital. He's not just saying he's optimistic, he's projecting a 15-fold return by 2028. I mean, come on. A number like that forces everyone to sit up and pay attention. So what on earth is he seeing?
Now, a prediction that bold isn't just a random guess. It's built on a few key ideas. First and foremost is Upstart's whole reason for being, its AI-powered lending platform. The bulls believe this gives them a massive, massive edge. They're also banking on the Fed to start cutting interest rates, which would make borrowing cheaper and juice demand. And then there's a more technical reason. The stock has a small share float. All that means is there aren't that many shares available to trade, so when a wave of buying comes in, the price can just go parabolic.
Okay, so while the bulls are out there dreaming of 15x returns, there's a much quieter, almost hidden story playing out behind the curtain. Let's completely flip the script and look at the insider warning signs, because they are telling a very, very different story. And this, right here, is the central conflict. It's the big puzzle. On one side, you've got these loud, public, super optimistic predictions of explosive growth. But then on the other side, you look at the quiet moves being made by the people who know the company best, the insiders, the big institutions. And what are they doing? They're selling. Let's put a real number on this. InvestNet Asset Management, a major institutional investor, just recently cut its position in Upstart by over 16%. That is not a small move. That's a serious reduction.
But wait, it gets way more alarming. The company's own CEO, Dave Gerard, just sold almost half of his shares, a sale worth over $3.1 million. Now think about that. When the CEO, the one person who has the most insight into a company's future, dumps a huge chunk of his stock right before an earnings report, well, that's a signal that's pretty hard for any serious investor to ignore.
So what's the deal? How can both of these things be true at the same time? To figure that out, we have to start decoding the data. Because right now, the numbers themselves are telling two completely opposite stories.
And this table just lays the confusion out perfectly. Look at that top number. Analysts are projecting this mind-bending 258.8% year-over-year growth in earnings per share. That is exactly the kind of rocket fuel the bulls are talking about. But then you look at that second line. That's the Zacks ESP revision. So ESP is for Earnings Surprise Prediction, and it tracks the most recent, up-to-the-minute changes from analysts. And it's negative, down almost 7%. This means the experts who follow this stock day in and day out are quietly lowering their expectations just before the big reveal. It's a total contradiction. The long-term story looks incredible, but the short-term vibe is getting pretty bearish.
And hey, just to throw another wrench in the works, let's look at it from a pure trader's point of view. A simple strategy, just buying high-volume stocks like Upstart and holding them for only one day, has returned a staggering 166% since 2022. That absolutely demolishes the benchmark's 29%. So even with all this fundamental uncertainty, the short-term trading signals are just screaming, buy. So all of this, the wild bullish dreams, the quiet insider fears, the totally contradictory data, it's all leading us to one single critical moment, the earnings day showdown. This is where all the theories, all the bets, and all the speculation finally smack right into reality. And look how quickly this is all happening. On July 30th, we had that insane trading rally that sent the stock into the stratosphere. Now, just a handful of days later, on August 5th, the report is going to drop. The moment of truth is literally right around the corner.
At the end of the day, everything we've just talked about comes down to this one event. The August 5th report is the final exam. It's going to either prove that the incredible optimism was justified, or it's going to prove that the insider's quiet selling was a warning we should have listened to all along.
So that leaves us with the one big final question. Is this crazy rally the first step on that incredible 15x journey for Upstart? Or is it just one last big speculative party before the numbers come out and tell a completely different and maybe much harsher story? We are all about to find out.